That's kind of the biggest mistake that so many brands make. They make it about them personally. So from October 5th to December 31st, we probably made maybe call it $2,000 a sale. 2020, we made 150. And now I'm viewed as a resource. You gotta steal your hat because I sent them a hat.
Like, let's backtrack just a little bit. Were you like going to the warehouse?
Still lost $2 million. That's not peanut. So you still have to recoup that. And for so many people, they will check out. Well, damn, I'm already two in the hole.
Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of the Double Down Podcast. I'm your host, DeAndre Woodson, and today we have another remarkable guest joining us. Meet Zachary King, a dynamic entrepreneur has made waves in both the fashion and the food industry. Zach is the visionary co-owner of Residency, innovative apparel brand known for its unique style and bold identity. But that's not all. He's also the mastermind behind Worms, a fun and creative candy brand that's capturing taste buds and imaginations alike. Today, we'll dive deep into Zach's journey, explore the challenges and the triumphs that have shaped his entrepreneurial path. Whether you're a fan of cutting-edge fashion or a lover of sweet treats, this conversation is packed with insights and inspiration. So sit back, relax, and let's double down into the world of Zach King. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Absolutely.
Truly a pleasure, man. I'm excited to chop it up and get this thing rolling, man. So definitely thank y'all for having me.
You know it. Pleasure's all mine. I want to start this thing off, bro, with Residency.
Correct.
I know it's kind of like a hip and trendy thing, especially in our culture.
Correct.
Everybody wants to do fashion, you know, but let's be honest, Kai Cenat had to become the world's biggest streamer before he felt comfortable enough to start his clothing line or his clothing brand.
Correct.
Or if it was, I have the community behind me where this thing doesn't flop.
Correct.
It's very, very hard. Talk to me a little bit, brother.
So you basically just gave our mission statement.
Come on now.
So you don't make it about you, and you make it about the city.
There we go.
Now, that's still going to be a lot of hard work, hours, money, and everything behind it. But I think that's so many, and it's hard for our culture to swallow that pill,
Right.
because we're very prideful. You need your ego in some instances, right? You need to have that certain level of swag or just confidence. But when you make things about you, it is tough. You know, obviously there's the exceptions, the Kobe's, the Jordans, the Steph Curry's, right? There's people who have done it at a high level, but at the same time, they had to be part of an entity or a brand or associated with winning, right? In order to really kind of create that own separate lane for themselves and carve that out. And at the end of the day, like, it's still a brand that they're representing. Like when you think of Jordan, yeah, I mean, think about it. Jordan ain't played in 20-some years, and people are still rocking his J's. Some of these kids ain't never even seen him play, but he's associated with winning. He's associated with that type of stuff. So that's kind of what you're buying into, not necessarily the shoe, if you will. Yeah. And so it's the same thing. Yeah. So I think it's definitely tough, but that's kind of the biggest mistake that so many brands make. They make it about them, personally. Right. And you can be, like Michael Mary. If you ask people, 10 people couldn't identify what Michael Mary looks like.
No idea.
Right. But they definitely know the brand. And so some of those things I think are just the key components in the beginning when you're getting started. And a lot of people don't want to hear that because they do want it about themselves. They're doing brands for clout. Yeah. They're doing it for just their own personal recognition instead of actually, the mission statement behind the brand. So like when we first started, our mission statement was giving opportunity to customers to represent their city. Ooh. So you take cities like Vegas, for example, 20 years ago, no Golden Knights, no Raiders, right? How did you represent this city of Las Vegas? Now you probably say, you could have put on a UNLV hat or put on something from UNLV. But somebody like me who went to the University of Florida, if I'm a Gator, I'm not really going to wear a UNLV outfit, even though I love Las Vegas. It's been great to me. I'm not going to resonate the college piece with the city piece. Right. And so that's kind of was our bread and butter.
Okay. Where did it come from? Like, what was the inception of, we could do this, want to, let's go?
So let's take it from the top, man. I'm in the restaurant business as well. Right. And it's a fast backtrack to 2010. I had a restaurant in Las Vegas. It was like a problem store. Okay. This time I was a CEO of the company. I probably had about 30 stores total. Wow. But I had this one store in Las Vegas where I would just go check on all my stores. So I go check on this store, and it was like the movie Friday. My manager got fired on his day off. So I basically, I'm very unassuming. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. So I told him, like, look, I'm going to give you the day off. I'm going to basically run your whole store, operate. I'm not going to manage any of your employees. If I see something wrong, when you come back, we'll talk. But I just want to get my hands dirty, show them, hey, that the boss is working, that type of deal. Yeah. And just kind of any pointers or tips I can give you. So I give him the day off. I say, here's $200, take your family out to eat. Enjoy your day. I said, the only thing I ask is at the end of the night, we count the deposit, you come back because I don't want to count nobody's money.
Okay.
Right? Let's like, I want you to count mine. This is your store. I want to give you the respect and count yours. So anyway, he took the day off, and I was outside, and just like a little smoke break or whatever. Called my mom, and my mom was like one of those praying women. She know everything except for the winning lottery ticket numbers. She could tell you everything about to happen, but she ain't won the Powerball yet. And so, long story short, she was like, "How's Jose doing?" And at that time, she was in Florida and we in Vegas. I'm like, why you asking? In my mind, like, why you asking about Jose? I'm like, Mama, he all right. So as soon as we got off the phone, I went in the safe and I said, we about to see how Jose doing. Right? Mama, you just got a random, like, I got 30 stores. Why you ain't ask about none of my other managers?
Right.
So I go in there, check the safe. He about $1,500 short. Long story short, I called. I said, Mama, how you knew that? She said, something was on my mind. Just knew something was up.
Wow.
So I checked it. So anyway, I played it cool. He came back at night, and literally like the movie Friday, Big Worm, he tried to count that thing 1,500 times, and it still didn't end up to be 1,500. So I felt hurt because I was like, man, if you would have asked me for it, I just would have gave it to you out my pocket. You didn't have to feel like, now I feel like you low-key think you slick or you trying to rob me, and I just would have given it to you if you was down on your luck. Like, we've been in situations where you knew you could have come to me. So anyway, long story short, I fired him, and that store became almost like my lab. So I had 30 stores at the time, but I would use that as like, hey man, we're gonna try a new salad out. We're gonna try a new wrap. We're gonna try some different fries. Like, I would use it as like a test store to try a new product. And if the product hit, then I would call my other stores in Dallas, hey man, we got this buffalo wrap. It's on fire. We got this, Nashville hot. Like, I would just call them with the recipes and walk them through it on FaceTime how to do it, because I had true, almost like a beta test experience that it would work. So anyway, I'm there every day. I'm very unassuming. So a lot of times people, they knew I was somebody, but they had no idea I was the owner. Or even if they thought I was the owner, they thought I just owned that store. So people had no idea who I was. And I have a theory, like, when you get the honest truth from people, that's when you really can enhance and really do your business. Very few people are scared. Very few people are not scared to tell the boss the truth, right? But if you just come off like unassuming, then they'll be like, man, Zach, the Kool-Aid watered down. I don't know what happened. Man, somebody forgot to put Lowry salt on the fries. Or they'll just be honest with you, like, man, you weren't here yesterday. They was tripping, or. And so I got that type of feedback from customers. And in the mall business, that's where all my stores were. The mall employees are the people that keep the lights on. So the people that come there every day, I don't care if it's a bottle of water, if she come every day and buy a bottle of water, my lease is for 10 years. In the course of you doing that every day, you done bought my Escalade by the end of my 10-year lease, even if it's just a French fry.
Yeah.
And then you going back to Nike or wherever and telling all your other employees, if you're going to buy something, buy it from Zach.
That's a good way to look.
Yeah, it's just like a way to corner the market for the people that are there.
Okay.
So I would do small deals, and for employees, I would give them discounts. Like, they'd have a secret menu. Because think about it, at that time, Vegas minimum wage was probably $9, $10. How can you come on your lunch break and spend $20 with me?
Yeah.
So I'd rather just get my money from the tourists that are coming to that mall and be like, look, come on, Dre, like, you got $3, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a meal for you. You ain't trying to get full off this shit. You're just trying to get something to get home. So I had a lot of rapport with those people. And at the end of the day, it's $3 that's not going to McDonald's. It's $3 that's not going to Panda Express.
Come on now.
So anyway, I had this one employee, his name was Angelo, and he worked at Tommy Hilfiger. He was a retail manager. And we just hit it off. And it's like a double part story how we got to Residency, but we hit it off. This is 2010, and we just became like customer, homie, friendship type situation. And I love Angelo to death, and I tell him this to his face. Angelo is very visionary, and he's very calculated with his vision. So at first, we became friends. Then now he go outside and check the parking lot. Like, how this manager driving a 750 BMW. Like, he kind of like, he's very, I love him, but he's calculated in his moves. And he always wanted to be better, right? He was born in Switzerland. He has like a very ambitious personality, and always wanted to associate with people who were bosses or entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So it started out like the cool black guy frying chicken. Then it ended up like, hey, bro, how you doing this? Because the manager of Burger King don't drive that kind of car. So what's really going on? And so now we hit it up. I'm like, well, this is what I do, man. I know you see me here every day, but when I'm not here, I'm actually the co-founder of this company. Like, I'm not just frying chicken for the hell of it. Like, I actually have, a bunch of other stores. I just ended up being here because of this reason.
Are you ready to turn your dreams into a reality? At Deviant Consultations, we're here to guide you, complete white glove service every step of the way. Whether you're starting your credit repair journey or you're looking to get business funding, we've got your back. Go ahead and screenshot or click the QR code below and schedule your discovery call with the team. Let's make your dreams come true together.
And so one day, he just kept that in the back of his mind, and we just essentially built a friendship, like a customer friendship off of that. Okay. So that's 2010 where that started. Let's fast track to 2017. So in 2013, I moved to San Diego because I had a store down there too. And in 2016, he moved to LA.
Gotcha.
So I'm from Tampa, he's from Vegas. Obviously, you from Cali.
Yeah.
But bro, like financially, if you from where we from, going to California is a culture shock. Like my gas in San Diego was $6 a gallon in 2013.
Yeah.
For premium.
Right.
So like, you know, if you're back in Tampa, it's probably $1.89 then, right? So you're just going from the East Coast to even Vegas at the time was a lot cheaper to the West Coast. It's a culture shock. So one day we were at a Laker game and he was like, look, Zach, man, how you doing it, bro? Like I'm making them good money. You know, he always kind of hit me for advice. And I'm like, look, man, you know, in Cali, you either living with your mama, you selling dope, you got 3-4 different things going, or you've got some other streams of revenue. But if you go into work, I don't care how good your check is, these people taking 40% of your check off top.
Right.
Then your rent, your cost of living, sales tax, like you're not gonna make it. Or you living above your means. It's one or the other. So he was like, well, I got some ideas. And I'm like, bro, we like 15 Hennessy's in. You're watching Kobe. Don't come to me with no bright ass idea right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll just sober up tomorrow and then hit me with your bright ass idea. And he took my word for it. It was like maybe a week later, he came back and he said, Zach, remember that thing I was telling you about? Not only do I want to talk to you, but I have a prototype I want to show you. So like as a business person, everybody will come to you with ideas on how to spend your money, but they never really gonna do the homework. And that was the first thing that was appealing to me about him. He did the homework. And so he was like, cool. So I was like, show me what you got. He said, man, I got an LA hat. This is the design. It's the same hat you're wearing.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I said, I still can't make you no promises because all I do is fried chicken. But I can get this hat around a lot of people. Like I know a bunch of people. And I got some bougie ass homies where if they say yes, we got something. So I'm just wearing it like you wearing it. And after a while, it started to build some rapport. And like, damn, Zach, let me get that up off you. I'm like, nah, man, I can't let you get this, man. I'll give you 100 right now for it. I'm like, okay. You know, I'm like, nah, still, let me make you one. It ain't even about the money. So I told Angela, I said, if these people biting the bait, we got something because they're trying to bite off my head. And keep in mind, they don't know me as a fashion person. They know me as the black guy frying chicken. They don't know me as the hat guy. They just think it's a dope hat. So this isn't even about a homie hookup for me. They like the product.
Right.
All right. But I say we still ain't got shit.
No,
we got a nice, cool hat, and that's it. We don't have a brand. And so long story short, I'm like, this is where we go, what I call it the whiteboard. You got to go in the lab with me, and we essentially whiteboard all the ideas. So I treat every business like basically like a restaurant. In a restaurant, you'd have to go, mobile pickup, catering, delivery, dine in. You know, you might even be able to sell some of your sauces in a grocery store. Yeah. Long story short, we're going to try to pimp this chicken 6-7 different ways because chances are financially you're going to need it, especially in today's economy. So it's the same thing for any other brand, any other business.
Gotcha.
So we started whiteboard. Okay, what are we doing? We selling baseball caps. Cool. What's on the hat? Okay, we doing LA. Are we just doing LA? Are we doing other cities? No, we're going to do other cities. Okay, cool. What other cities we doing? All right, perfect. What's another name for a city? So I almost have like how a rapper would go in the studio. I almost like, you know, I gotta like just almost like teleport my mind to the next idea. Okay. So at that time, Ross had that one song, Vegas Residency. Yeah. So I just started playing that. That just was, that whole album was in my mind. And so I was like, cool, cities, residency, residence. You're going to take your ass home to a residence. Yeah. You have a residence where you live. You have a residency if you're a DJ. Doctors got a residency. You know, all these different word plays on how I can just scale residency. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to do, because I'm going to try to Martha Stewart this thing and do cooking shows and do like home decor, right? All this stuff that's been done to you as a customer, right? You know, Versace sell you clothes, but he also got a couch too that you can buy. Mm-hmm. And so just all these different things. And so this is how we tried to build it. So this is all the answer to your question, how people they become a one-trick pony and they get stuck in one thing if they don't set up a thing of scale. Right. And so then that was how we initially birthed the brand, was through he and I, that vision, that product, that prototype. And then that's how we went to vision on the whiteboard on how to scale the brand. So when you first started about some of these people, no matter how famous they are, if you don't have that foundational recipe for your business, like you almost kind of setting yourself up for failure from day one, because you don't have enough legs to stand on. But anyway, that's the kind of the long-winded answer to your question, but that's the foundation of the brand that we needed to get going. And that's how we essentially Residency was birthed.
So you looked at it from the macro right from the very beginning of what is possible and then coming back.
Correct. I tell everybody, I don't care if you sell a lemonade in front of Walmart, you got to treat it like a Fortune 500 company or you're never going to be there. Fire. If you treat it just like, oh, we just hustling, you're just going to stay hustling. Yeah. You got to treat this thing like Like you literally are. Like so much of things I did in the beginning, like for Mystique.
Yeah.
Like I'll write an email, and it could be some professional sports team, and I'd be like, yeah, well, let me talk to my design team. You know, the design team is Angelo.
Yeah.
But in a nice email, or let me talk to the manufacturing team. The manufacturing team is Vic in L.A. in my warehouse.
Yeah.
With 10 of my employees. It's not this. We ain't Nike.
Yeah.
But if you don't envision that in your mind and you don't speak that into existence, or you don't make people respect you like that, you ain't never gonna get that kind of paper, because you're already setting your mind. Well, we just po hustling. It's not really a brand, or so many people make that mistake.
So after you guys figured out that if you do make more hats, right? Because that's how it began, with
Correct.
just hats. And then people actually started to buy them from you, what, like hand to hand, or you started like a website?
So here we go. So obviously we had all the intangibles for you to buy, right? That's the first thing. When you go to market, you got to make it easy for customers to buy. So yes, website, all that stuff we had. True story, in the beginning, begging friends and family, that's kind of like what I call the first round of sales.
Yeah.
Friends and family, homie hookups, same people that was trying to buy it off my head. Well, now here you go, here's the site. Then the second part of what we did was, at that time, Facebook hadn't had that issue with Apple, where they hadn't changed the algorithm, they hadn't done that. So we did a lot of Facebook ads, and we saw success with that.
Yeah.
We opened up in 2019, our first in October. October 5th is our company birthday.
Nice.
So from October 5th to December 31st, we probably made maybe call it $2,000 of sales.
Okay.
So 2019, October to December 31st, two stacks. 2020, we made 150.
Ooh.
So 2020 was when, right, kind of in the pandemic, when the pandemic was first starting to pop off.
Yep.
But the Facebook and Apple hadn't had that issue yet. So we were able just to do ads, content ads with just regular models. And we made about 150 that first year.
Nothing else changed.
Nothing else changed other than the fact that obviously, we did more content shoot. We had more products. We had more cities. Mm-hmm. We did growth on our own. But as far as our model was essentially create the product, market the product, here we go. And so that was 2020. Now, here is what I call when pandemic happened, and when Facebook and Apple had that issue, we had to go back to the drawing board. So that's when I had to clock in, and that's what I call ghetto marketing. Okay. So ghetto marketing is essentially what you see now. So long story short, ghetto marketing is I try to get the product to whoever is at the top of the totem pole of whatever genre I'm trying to do. Absolutely. At that time in pandemic, the world was shut down. There was no outside. So the only thing people were doing was football, in my mind, we're watching football. I played college football, I never went pro, but like I know how the locker room thinks. I know their egos, I know their mindset. It's pretty much only about 10, 11 people that run the league. Right. Those are basically the big dogs. And so in each locker room, you got a big dog. So big dog, in a lot of ways for us, is whoever got the biggest bag. But at the same time, sometimes you might have the biggest bag and be a cornball. That don't mean you got no style. So it's almost like this whole mixed gumbo you got to cook. Yeah. You got to have the biggest bag. You got to be influential. And then at the same time, you got to be somebody of influence. Right. So the person who was able to push this thing for us was a guy named Trent Williams. I don't know how much you know football, but plays for the 49ers.
Silverback gorilla.
Correct. So if
cancer survivor.
Exactly. So for people who don't know, Trent is the highest paid person besides a quarterback in NFL history, over $400 million in contract money. But more importantly, he's just a decent human being, and he's just an alpha male in that locker room, not only from a financial standpoint, but he can turn that tidal wave in that locker room where people will follow, because so many times in our cultures, monkey see, monkey do. Right. So in 20, Kittle had worn, other people had worn, but Trent was the one.
Not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
How did you get the opportunity to get it to him?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So the first person who actually was an NFL player that wore my hat was my boy Eric Harris, who played for the Raiders. So that was the first NFL person who wore locally in the Raiders. Yeah, Eric at that time, was like a buddy of mine through a friend of a friend coming to Vegas. As you know, Vegas is a tough town. Yeah. So at that time they were coming from Oakland to Vegas. I said, "Look, Eric, I'm here. Let me put my arm around you. Whatever you need, I'm here." And Eric was in the Raider locker room. So back to the monkey see, monkey do. That's when Crosby, Carr, Waller, all these people like, "Damn, E, how you got that hat?" E. Harris is not a Trent, but E. Harris is super credible. It's almost like if E is doing something, it ain't a scam, it ain't no flim flam. Like if E rocking his hat is somebody simple. So that was the first NFL person. Yeah. Now, as far as that's how I got it to him, because I knew him. Yeah. Like I said, the league and these people are not that big. You can get to a lot of these people pretty quickly, either through agents, and a lot of times if it's something exclusive, they're looking for the next person. Okay. So the game I'm giving you is like, you're not that far away.
Got you.
Like I can get to LeBron in 2-3 people, right? It sounds, oh my God, but it's not really that hard once you get the hardest part is getting in the door, the first door.
Gotcha.
After you get in that first door, you're gonna be able to work. It may take a while, but you're able to do it. Now, keep in mind, back to pandemic, what were people doing? They were on their phone.
Yeah.
So a lot of these NFL players who are now able to go to clubs and nightclubs, all that type of stuff, at that time, the world was shut down. So you home playing the game, you home on the phone.
Right.
So it was a lot of cold calling, DMing, stuff like that, bro. I used to probably do about 150 cold calls a day.
Who are you calling though?
When I say cold call, it could be an email, it could be a text message,
Yeah.
it could be a DM, it could be whatever. And it was from, Tom Brady, Trent, Lil Wayne. I mean, whoever I would just copy paste, switch the name. I had a nice, nice note that I put some thought in the language.
Yeah.
And like, hey, this is the deal. And at the end of the day, I would love to get you my product. It was never an ask of them. It was just, hey, I just want to give you my product. I just want to get you my product. Whatever mailing address, just constantly relaying that message.
Right.
And then as I started to kind of stack people wearing hats, well, now I had a proof of concept. So if I hit you in the DM, well, I hit Hyro last week, so you saw Hyro wearing the hat. So you're like, okay, this is obviously legit. He hit me with the same message, and I see somebody wearing. And because of pandemic and then being on their phone, and quite frankly, me just being relentless, that's how I was able to get it to go. And, it was a lot of scraping. I mean, we was back to the early days, bro. We used to go through our phone just like hours, just praying we find somebody to wear the hat. Nowadays, if somebody wear it, like I probably have 20 messages before I leave here, like, oh, so-and-so wore the hat.
Yeah.
But in the early days, it was a lot of just literally boots on the ground, in a figurative way, cold calling, DMing, tagging, commenting, that just the relentless guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
And that's how I was able to get it to the people and just get the awareness out. And then once I got in that, then it spread itself.
I had two questions while you were telling me that. So I want to know, if you don't mind sharing, please, how much did it cost to go all in on this? And then not to scale and get it to where it is, but just to get the proof of concept where you had enough to give away? And then two, how much did you have to give away? Because I feel like that isn't spoken about enough, because what you were just describing was your relentless work ethic and trying to just give it to people, right? Like you said, you're like, I just want to give you my product. I just want to give you my product. If someone only puts in and prints out 25 shirts, you can't hit 25 people and give all 25 away because you don't have nothing. Correct. So how much did you actually, if you don't know the exact number,
I know it. Trust me, I know it. It haunts me every day.
Okay.
So you asked two questions, but it's 4 answers.
Yeah.
So 4 answers. And it's a disclaimer. If you're doing this for money, don't. If you're doing this for money, don't, man. Okay. If you're doing this for just transactional, like 1 + 1 gotta equal 2, just don't even clock in.
Right.
Because you are gonna be losing from day one.
Absolutely.
And the minute the money dry out, you're gonna clock out because you don't see the money no more.
Yeah.
So that's the disclaimer for anybody doing it.
I appreciate it.
The second disclaimer is the things that you can't quantify that it's gonna cost you. Like this has cost me my marriage. This has cost me relationships with. I done lost friends. I done lost homeboys. I done lost family members. So you can't quantify that. That's priceless. Some people need it to be gone, but to a certain extent, when you sign up this on day one, you don't think it's gonna cost you that. Okay. Now, personally, you got to realize before I was doing this, I probably was making $250,000 a year. So I've been doing this for 6 years. So you add that up. If I would have worked a corporate job, if I was back on the plantation, I'd be making $250 a year as a corporate director.
1.5.
So that's that. So you got that number. Now, as far as the giveaways, the mookies, the dookies, the hands off, this is how you're gonna look at it. First disclaimer is if I would have had to pay George Kittle to wear that hat, that's $250,000 every time he pays. If I would have had to pay Tom Brady, that's millions of dollars. So I know we sent Brady a couple free hats. I'm sorry. But what you would have had to pay that person to do it is and you never would have got the same ROI on it. All right. And then now, as far as the company debt, me personally, Residency's probably cost me about $800,000 personally of my own personal money. Now, so if you don't put that in it, here you go.
Right.
But scared money don't make no money.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing people have to understand. So if you're looking at it transactionally on a day-to-day basis, the math is never going to make sense. You're going to lose so many things you can't get back, the time it's going to take, and then at the end of the day, you can't count pennies trying to get millions because people looking at it like, well, damn, I'm Tom Brady. At least you could do is send me a hat. And you look at it like, well, damn, this hat is $18 if I send it, or if I send a hoodie, what is my cost? And it's like, bro, like, I'm Tom Brady, I'm Lil Wayne, I'm Swiss Beats, send the fucking package. And you asked me, now you got my attention and you asked me to DM to send a package. So you got this moment. What's up? Now I think you're playing with me.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times that's where it's at. So anyway, to long story answer your question, let's just call it $2 million.
Wow.
Just call it $2 million. And the thing about it is, there's one of my favorite movies is a movie called Blow. And in the movie Blow, the dude says, George, money's not real. People only think it is. And I never understood money not being real until I started residency.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, if you go to my chicken restaurant, it's only so many seats. If we make $10,000 frying chicken that day, I know what we'd have made. With residency, because of the scale of the internet, all it takes is something to go viral. And because it went more viral than what you did yesterday, you don't have that sales experience. So I'll give you a true story. We talk about numbers.
Please.
When we first opened in 2021, this was the Trent Williams effect. We talk about what made it pop, or the big one.
Yeah.
In 2021, this is right when they drafted Trey Lance, and people were just coming out of pandemic. The 49ers had a press conference, and literally Trey, Debo, Trent, Fred. This was way before Purdy, right? This is the Trey Lance era. Shanahan, everybody wore our hat in the press conference. And that, literally was like, you get off, boom. You get off, the next person hop. Everybody who went in there.
Did you know this was going to happen?
I had no idea. This is the point I'm trying to make. I had no idea. I knew that they had the product.
Okay, so
but
you shipped that.
I knew people had hats.
Okay.
But I didn't know everybody was going to show up to class today with their hat on, a different hat. Like you walk in with the black and white.
Yeah.
Your cousin walk in with the red and black.
Yeah.
Like everybody got their fit on. It's like first day back at school. Everybody putting a fit together. And literally everybody walked in with my hat. And so it went on Reddit. So when it went on Reddit, it went viral. And our sales literally went up crazy. So in 8 days, we made $168,000 in 8 days, just in those 8 days.
Wow.
And that was our moment. And I always tell people, when you get that moment, you got to ride that wave. Otherwise, you're never going to be able, this is what you prayed for, so you got it. We got to ride this motherfucker out.
Right.
And so that's what we did. And the point I'm trying to make is, the previous 8 days, I didn't make $168,000. So I had no sales history of making that kind of money.
Right.
And so that's why I go back to money's not real. If I made $168,000 every 8 days, I'd have been ready. I'd have had inventory, my margins, I would have had product on hand, I would have had all my suppliers, I would have been ready to go. But this is a surprise. Like, here we go. You just made, you got your blessing. And not to say 188 is crazy, life-changing money, but if you don't have that kind of experience making those kind of sales, you're almost not ready for that type of business.
Yeah.
And that's why I say money's not real.
Got you.
Because a lot of people don't realize, we didn't make $168,000 profit. Those were just our sales.
Right.
And keep in mind, like, we got taxed on our margin because we didn't have inventory.
Absolutely.
So it's all these different things I think entrepreneurs don't understand. It's like the cost of doing business. What is it going to cost you to service the business? And yeah, it's cool to see the sales come in. Trust me, we was happy. But if you don't have that kind of history and you're not ready for that type of scale, that scale can actually be expensive, which goes back to your question is, well, how much did this really cost you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that did hit and that happened, obviously you don't have the product on hand ready to distribute, right? You can't fulfill those orders. So if you can't even remember, like, what did you do within that week? Did your website shut down?
No, we ain't shutting shit down. We ain't shut shit. We cracking this thing out.
How do you
all the way to the
overcome
end.
that?
We basically, this, like I said, that's your moment. You don't slow down momentum. That's one of my quotes. Do not slow down momentum. Figure that shit out. Ride that shit out. Like, figure out a solution. Okay. And what we did was essentially, we got taxed, but literally we essentially were just basically, we partnered with a company called Decky, and we were able to at least have enough blanks. We had enough hats. We had enough physical hats. Now, they obviously had to be manufactured, embroidered, and so that's when we were scrambling. So I had literally about 5 different embroiderers on hand just going to work. So let's say, for example, the LA hat, if that's the one booming, then I literally had about 5 people responsible for making that hat. And it was just crazy at that moment, all the sales coming in during that time, but we had to be ready because people compare you to Amazon. Now, I ordered my hat, where's my hat? And here we are. So that's how we were able to scramble, but no, ain't nothing shut down, ain't nothing stopped. We call it internally, making money out of thin air. Right. Because technically you're selling stuff that doesn't exist, but it does. It's cooked to order. Yeah. I didn't need to put an order in for 10,000 until you order 10,000. So here we are, this game. But as long as you can keep feeding the beast, then you'll be fine.
So from that moment, that was just Trent telling his boys, do this for me?
I don't know. I don't. He's so this is the thing, man. You got to realize, like, you just go back to that type. Like, I have had teammates in Florida, right, where somebody got a BMW. So one of my homeboys, Ray McDonald,
nice.
No, one of my homeboys, Marcus Thomas, he played for Denver. We call him Trap. So Trap got a burgundy 750 BMW. This 2008. I'm just trying to show you the mindset of the locker room. So Trap gets the BMW. Let's call it on a Monday. He gets the burgundy 750 on a Monday. Ray on a Wednesday comes with the exact same burgundy, but it's a 760. Say, got you, nigga. That's the mindset that you're dealing with, right? So if you just keep that same mindset, it's the same thing when Trent walks in. Trent is an offensive lineman, got 15 Ferraris. Like Trent will go to practice and bring every Rolls Royce to practice, like just to practice. He bring the Cullinan, the Wraith, the Spectre, the Phantom, just to practice. Right. Like, so it's like you're dealing with a mindset where even if he don't tell you to do that, that's who I aspire to be. That's who I want to be. Okay. And he's not saying nothing, but like, that's the money, that's the type of paper I want to get. Right. And so if I look, if he how he dressing, how he looking, that's how I want to be. That's what I want to look like. And in our communities, that's our credit. That's our, like that. They're not doing that on Wall Street, but that's our Wall Street, right? Yeah. That's our stock market. Absolutely. Our stock market is the parking lot. Our stock market is somebody's closet. Our stock market is somebody's chain. And that's sad, but that's the reality of it. But for the fashion standpoint, we care about looking good. And if somebody is doing that, then that's what looking good looks like. And that's what I love about Trent is really, I'm just selling a $15, $16 baseball cap. Right. Let's be real. Right. Now our average ticket price is $51. Our lowest retail is $35. Okay. But my cost is $50. Right. My cost is about $16 on a hat. Right. But not when Trent put it with a $12,000 Balenciaga jacket. Right. Right. 100%. So how he dressed this a $16 hat hopping out of a $700,000 Phantom. Right. Is not a $16 hat. Absolutely. And so that's what he was so genius at doing. Like, I'm going to take this product and I'm going to elevate it. But we do the same thing for other brands. We do the same thing for Chanel, Gucci, all these brands that we make pop as a culture. We make it pop, but he was genius in saying like, all right, I'm going to show y'all how to put this together. The same thing he does with everything else. So I'll tell you a true story about him and how influential. When we had that big moment, one of the equipment managers, shout out to Rob Lloyd, he called me and he was like, Zach, he hit me on DM like, Zach, can you send me 100 hats? And I was like, yeah, Rob, I got you, but I just need, that's another thing about me. Like once you give me a blessing, I ain't gonna say no. Okay. Even if I gotta figure it out. Like, you on ESPN, I'm gonna figure out how to get you 100 hats, right? That you doing your part, I'll do my part, right? You can't be, how much is shipping gonna cost? Like, bro, this is the 49ers calling you. There we go. So long story short, Rob called me, he said, Zach, I need 100 hats. I said, I'll do it. I said, but just give me 2 seconds of your time. I just have one question I wanna ask you on the phone. Because I know how people are. Some stuff they don't want to say. This is this man's job. Everything ain't a Zoom call, right? Right. And so I'm like, man, let me ask you a question, bro. It's not my birthday. It's not Christmas. I'm not Trent's homeboy, cousin. This ain't no family favor. Why is Trent doing this, and how is he able to do it? Because I know, like, every time he wears his hat on the sideline, he getting fined $15,000. I was waiting to ask you, like, how did this happen? He getting fined every time he wear this thing. Right. And Rob's exact words where he's like, Zach, that's Trent Williams, and ain't nobody gonna tell him to take that hat off. And he don't care about no fine. He don't care about none of that shit. If that's what he want to wear, that's what he gonna wear. And so the point is, somebody who was influential, like I gave you that parking lot analogy, and then now you got somebody who ain't gonna fold. And in the locker room standing, it's like once they see you ain't gonna buck, they're like, well, shit, you ain't tell Trent to take that thing off. I'm got my hat on. Yeah. Like we would Trent. Like, fuck it. This is what, I'm saying. Even if they are not, like, you can see it. I don't know if you afford it by, like, but when you see them come out, they step different with him. Like if Trent ain't dancing, it's just something about like that culture in the locker room. Like we used to be in Florida. I would go to the club with 100 deep, just my teammates. Everybody 6'4", 6'5". Like it's just and then the basketball team want to get in it, right? So it's just a culture where if you understand that culture, all you need is one person to turn that wave. And then once you get that one top dog, everybody will follow. And our culture is built off of that.
So from that moment, you were able to get it, because I've seen it everywhere now. Yeah. And it's obviously, it does have to do with your marketing, right? Correct. It's much easier to market when you have that individual, especially with the internet, right? Correct. Repost, spend money for ads. Sure. But I've seen like Nick Bosa, you know what I mean? I've seen Tom, you know what I mean? At a restaurant, sit down. You get what I'm in. John Gruden is wearing it like on a daily basis. Bro. So like, I'm missing, where does that happen? Like, how do you go from this to that?
I think, the same thing has been done to you. Like I bought Mercedes and they ain't test drive them. I mean, you got your favorite Rolex, right? Yeah. Like she got her favorite Chanel bag. Right. It's so some of these things, like if once you get organic and get sticky, what I call with people, what I call is basically create an ecosystem.
Okay.
So the ecosystem, it's like Apple. Everybody here got an Apple. If somebody takes you with them green dots, man, you ready to get the fuck up out the chat, right? That's just the reality of it. And if God forbid something happened to your iPhone, you're not gonna blame Steve Jobs. You're not gonna blame Apple. You'll say, well, my phone tripping. I gotta go get me a new phone.
Yeah.
You're never gonna blame the ecosystem.
Wow.
So what I try to do is create an ecosystem for people. And once you fall into that, you create the brand loyalty. Right, that's the biggest thing. You love your city. This is not a Big Zach hat. This is a L.A. That's why I asked you to message. Where you from, bro? That's why I hit you. I didn't hit you with wear this and say Big Zach.
Right.
And so that's the thing. You hit people with an ecosystem where they're from. They're gonna fall for that because they're already in love with that. Absolutely. They're already in love with their favorite team, their favorite city, their college town. Then, like I told you personally, I don't get common. Like, I ain't asking nobody to borrow their car. I ain't asking Trent for $1,500. I'm not asking for game tickets. You ain't got to sign nothing for me. You know, my mama don't need a favor.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get common with people, right? And then last but not least, there's never an ask. I'm just giving. Trent, here's whatever you need. I don't need nothing in return. Of course, I'm dying and begging that you wear that hat on ESPN. Please do.
Absolutely.
But I'm not telling you to do that. Mm-hmm. And so you have to realize, like, in the locker room, people are so demanded. You got practice, you got training table, you got walkthrough, team meeting, you got your mama asks you for money, your baby mama asks you for money, your side chick asks you for money, your cousin, your brother who did make it, he asks you for money. So it's like, damn, now Zach need 2 tickets and he want me to sign the hat. Like, God, you're just so demanded from anything. And it's like, you love these people. Some people you can't say no. You can't say no to mama. Some people, if you do say no, you got to deal with the backlash of hearing that shit. Yeah. So it's just almost you're trying to just buy peace. And so a lot of times, like my angle, and I do it genuinely, is like, bro, I don't need nothing from you. And then to the other angle I do is I take care of the people that's bothering them. So now your little brother that's stealing your hat, I took care of him. Your sister, this and that. Like, I take care of all the little homie favors. And then now you're like, now I'm viewed as a resource.
Right.
I didn't ask you for nothing, but then now they ain't got to steal your hat because I sent them a hat.
Mm-hmm. When you started this thing off, like, let's backtrack just a little bit, or even in the meantime, I don't know, meanwhile, if you've done changes, but were you like going to the warehouse and touching hats and touching different fabrics?
So I'm a big believer now. Obviously, I come from the restaurant business, right? We go back to that problem store that I caught the guy stealing.
Right.
I didn't hire a manager right away and put back on my Ferragamos. Like, I went back in the kitchen and got back in the trenches. I got back and showed people. I've even done restaurant. I got a Cuban restaurant in town. I was telling her the other day, like, literally, I went undercover.
When you were telling me that story, I was like, you were the first undercover boss.
Yeah, undercover.
Just not on TV.
Undercover, right? And they didn't know I spoke Spanish. They had no idea. They knew I had kitchen.
Wait, do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I was siempre todo día, man. Yeah, so you already know, bro. You ain't call me pinche negro all day in the kitchen. Hell no, you got life so fucked up. We're going to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm from Tampa. So, like, you back home, you get black in your shirt, they're going to speak Spanish to you. If you Chinese, you better get with it. Right? And so that's my culture. I have 3 aunts to the Cuban. My mom had 5 brothers. 3 of those brothers married Cuban women, and then my uncles. And so that's kind of the culture there. I was just always around it. So that's why I first got introduced to it. Then obviously I went to college, University of Florida. I minored in Spanish, but you already know some of the stuff you learn in the book ain't nothing gonna be like, right?
Right.
And then what really helped me was when I was in the restaurant business, literally I wanted to train the right way. Okay. I'm just big on serving. So even though you work for me, I want to serve you because you helping me get rich. So that if I make you feel better about yourself, and if I show you service, then naturally you're going to serve me and you're going to serve the customer.
Absolutely.
And so whatever I can do to make the training better or just make you feel more at home, you're going to have a happier employee. At the end of the day, somebody can always give you a raise and more money, but they can't create a feeling of just home. And I'm still not going to pay you. But if it's 20 and 20, well, whoever's the asshole, I'm not going. Yeah. I'm going to go where I feel comfortable. Right. If we talking 20 and 20 an hour, if there's no money difference, I'm going to go where I feel respected, comfortable, and appreciated. So I had this one employer, her name was Kim, and I told Kim, I said, look, man, I'm pretty decent, but I need you to take me to the next level. Like, I need you to take me all the way, I need you to take me all the way to the rancho. Mm-hmm. And so literally I said, look, I'm going to pay you an extra $100 a week, and I want you to speak nothing but Spanish to me. The radio in the kitchen is Spanish. Everything is Spanish. Like, any question you got, business, financial, day off, your husband tripping, whatever, everything is in Spanish. Right. And we did that for years, and I just built that. But you got to imagine, like, 90 hours a week, just listening to that. And so that's kind of what took it to the next level. And obviously, like, I've been in relationships with Hispanic women and, texting and stuff like that. So that helped the game. But just total immersion for people who want to learn. But the whole point is just being comfortable in that environment. But like, to your question about why do they wear every day, it's just an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem. There's no ask, but I'm truly humbled, man. Like Max Crosby, he wore it when he proposed to his wife. He wore it when his daughter was born. Like imagine you holding your daughter for the first time in the hospital and you got my hat on. We've had people $100 million contract signed. And then I have, you haven't been in my office yet, but in my office I have, people think it's a wall of fame.
Okay.
But it's not. It's where we come from, it's basically a targeting wall. Yeah. And I use it for motivation. It's like the feds. You go to when they put a case on your ass, they got you on the wall. Okay, we got Boone, we got him. And so I do the same thing with the people I'm trying to target. So I'll have, I got Swiss, but really I'm trying to get to Jay. Okay, I got this, but I'm really trying to get to Wayne. Okay, I got all these people I'm trying to get to. Right. And so I use that as like a whiteboarding visionary wall to target people. And it's humbling, like, because Brady was on my list. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Swiss was on my list. Wayne was like, some of these people I've executed, they were on my hit list. Yeah. And once I got them, I was like, God damn. And how I got them, with no budget. Right. It just shows the organicness of it's a great product. And they just genuinely like it. And if somebody genuinely likes it, there's nothing you can do, man. Yeah. Do you have like brand ambassadors now? Because I know this is like a thing. I do. Okay. So I have a couple ways I look at it. First of all is you have to fuck with it. Like you have to love it. You have to organic. We don't start off brand ambassador. How we start off is, I'll give you a true story. Like I walked in and gave you that hat. Yeah. First thing you did in the bathroom and do that. You passed the test. Yeah. And you did it genuinely. Now, if my product was dog shit, please don't do that. Don't do me no favor if you're not rocking with it. Yeah. But in our culture, if I would have handed you a Rolex, you'd have put that thing on. Yeah. So give me the same respect that you give Rolex, G-Wagon, Chanel, Balenciaga, all them people. Give me the same respect, because if I took you to the warehouse, Mike Amiri going to be right next to me. It's true story. Yeah. If I took you Supreme right next to me in my warehouse. Yeah. Like Supreme is right there. So like don't be in awe. Yeah. I'm right. If they on the shelf one, I'm on shelf two. Like give me a fair shot. Yep. Touch it. Touch the fear of God. Touch me. Like Lorenzo started, right? So all these people have the same background. Give us the same respect. And then give yourself the respect to say, well, bro, I'm the one that making it pop. I'm the one that's a walking billboard for these companies. So that's my first thing. You got to fuck with it. It's got to be organic. You have to like it. Now, I'm going to do my part and send you stuff that I think fits. There we go. So like, I'm never going to send somebody who's not a hat person I had. I'm never going to, like people ask me, they never ask me like how I really got Tom Brady. They say, oh, Tom Brady win. You ain't never asked me how I read the psychology and how I got him. Yeah. Tom Brady's a clean cut white guy. He ain't gonna wear that Cholo Pirate. Absolutely. He needs a clean cut LV. Yeah. Clock in, Zach. Come on now. So I'm giving you the background, the psychology, like I'm picking a fit for somebody. I'm not just throwing shit on the shelf and saying, well, here you go, just grab the shit. So you're always ready, even though the opportunity hasn't presented itself always, yet. Bro. That's what you're telling me. Always. Like I said, if you come up just like the feds, they're going to be ready to indict your ass. I got everybody on the wall, like I'm ready. Yeah. Like free agency, I'm ready. I can tell you every coach, every trade. I can tell you the top offensive lineman coming out of Florida, where he going to sign. Like Jordan Seaton, I don't know if you watch football, but Jordan Seaton, big offensive lineman from Colorado, he just transferred to LSU. I was already telling him, I said, whenever you're ready, I already got everything ready for you. Because it was either LSU, Miami, Oregon. Like I treat it like a sports agency. If you get traded, if they trade Ja from Memphis to Miami, you need something in Miami, don't you? Like giving people an excuse. And the psychology is we view it as fans, but this is their job. Right. So the psychology is if somebody traded you, that means they didn't want you. So you more inclined to want to be a part of the new team. Absolutely. So you'll wear stuff out of spite. Yeah, fuck that, Zach. They send me the new Miami joint. Or send me the LA joint. They just traded my ass. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to sign with Denver. Go ahead and send me something for the new city. That as soon as we went Debo in DC, man, made the DC joints. Like, so you get the person, it's a job. And that's what Trent told me too. He's like, man, like if you worked at McDonald's, you wouldn't wear your uniform to the club. So it's the same thing for me. Like even though I'm making $44 million a year, like bro, I don't want to wear Niner stuff when I'm going out to Nobu and going to take my old lady out. Like I want to be a person. Yeah. So give me something exclusive. Give me something. I don't mind representing my city, but I'm not going to wear my uniform to a restaurant or a nightclub. Right. But I will wear something that says San Francisco. So just things like that, the psychology behind it. But yeah, that's no brand ambassadors off top. You got to like it. Now we have done stuff. We did stuff with Trent. Obviously, we did his SBG line. We did stuff with George Kittle for his Hidden Pearls podcast. That B11 logo for Brandon Ayuk, we created that. I'll talk about that next, but we created his B11 logo. And we do white label deals for people. So meaning like if you don't even tell people it's me, then I won't tell, right? But like let's say you want to start a clothing brand and you wanted me to do the production or handle the manufacturing. I'll basically be your supplier, but we can white label it and put your brand on it and they'll never even know I'm behind the scenes. And why we did that for companies is, man, so many times when you're starting out, people are trying to screw you. They're charging you the highest price. They're charging you for blanks. They're almost running you out of business before you even start.
Absolutely.
And that's what happened to me. I'm like, man, it shouldn't be that hard. Somebody shouldn't charge you $85 for a hoodie sample. That's going to cost them $12. Like, I'm still charge you $20, but like it's enough room for everybody to eat, bro. And so that's the thing about it. Like, don't kill people before they get started. But those are the kind of the brand ones we did. For BA, I call them BA. What BA did, BA hit me like about a couple of years ago. He's like, man, Zach, I love the way your hats fit, but I would you put a Boston Red Sox logo on the hat? And I love the fit of your hat because he had dreads. He's like, but I just want, his name was Brandon, so he wanted the Boston Red Sox logo. I said, of course, BA, we can do that, but ain't no equity in that. That's more money for the Boston Red Sox. So let us allow me to create a design logo for you. Wow. And if you like it, now you got equity in a product. The Boston Red Sox got enough money, BA. Right. And I know you got some paper too, but create something that's your own, that you own. So we made him that B11 logo, and he literally commissioned us to do that. And he purchased that from us last year. Wow. And so anyway, that's how, just showing these people equity. Yeah. Because like the team is getting paid twice. The team is getting paid off your performance on the field, and they're getting paid off the merchandise. Right. So why don't you get paid off your own merch?
Absolutely.
Right. Makes no sense. You the star. You don't want out to catching the balls. You still get your game check, but get your merch check.
So out of this has come different branches of different avenues for you to make more money.
Right. But that's why I told you I wanted to start it from day one. How do you scale it if you we just ain't selling baseball caps?
No, not
like
at all.
The next part of this too that I'm working on, even here in Las Vegas, like I can't say who, but you pretty much figure stuff out, is new teams that come here.
Right.
Buy that logo. Mm-hmm. You need a new logo. You're a new team. Welcome to Vegas.
Right.
What logo are you gonna use?
Oakland. So in the Oakland.
I don't know. I don't know who, but God will work it out. Yeah. But all I'm telling you is that's the excuse. I'm not just selling you a baseball cap. Right. I'm selling you the logo on the cap.
Right. I got you.
I'm selling you design because no offense to New Era or any other brand, but they're just a manufacturing company. Yeah. When we were growing up, Starter had that deal. Nike had that deal. Major League Baseball has switched. Mm-hmm. How many times? Majestic. Yeah. All these, right? You don't own the Dodger logo. Right. You just printing Dodger shit. Mm-hmm. I own my Dodger logo, and I also own the Dodger product. So either way, I'm trapping both ways, right? Mm-hmm. Like the logo and the product. So that's what I'm trying to get people to see. Right. That's what I'm saying. BA, the hat is just, don't make the Boston Red Sox no more money. Make Brandon Ayuk more money with your own logo that you can put on the bottom of your swimming pool that he did. You can put on the back of your Maybach, switch to B. He did that. Like earrings, like brand yourself where you can put this logo anywhere.
I know you started off in the malls, right? That you said that, doing fried chicken.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself going back into the malls like this, like Lids is in the mall, or is this always going to stay online? It's easier direct to consumer.
So it was tough, man. It's like, so let's take Feature for example. They're obviously a local brand, super respected. Pandemic baby. We started off direct to customer, so that'll always be our bread and butter. Okay. I think the customer experience you can totally control with that. The box, the packaging, the delivery, the tracking. Like, how do you make a customer feel from start to finish with that direct to customer? Number two, I feel a lot of times when you're doing those retail spaces now, I don't want to say it's just for show, but it's almost just like a showpiece place where you kind of have to have it. So if you're going to have it, pick malls where it's good foot traffic, good, it makes sense. Okay. This is not like how we used to grow up, walking the mall, window shopping. Yeah. Window shopping now is on your phone. Absolutely. Window shopping is not walking the mall. Right. Like we would just go in. I was so broke growing up as a kid. My mom would take me to the food court. We'd just be sampling. She's like, just keep sampling. Take your big ass around one more time and keep grabbing bourbon chicken until you get full. Like that doesn't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. And so that's the hardest part. I'm not opposed to it. You asking me directly, what's the next move for me? Yep. Lifestyle places. So yeah, it'll be some retail, but it'll be a vibe. It might be a recording studio in there, might be a podcast studio in there, might be some cars in there, might be a low-key little barbershop in there. It will be a multi-use place that's a vibe that solves a lot of other people's problems. Gotcha. Like I told my barber the other day, when I open my spot, I ain't even charging you booth rent.
Okay.
I'm not, no booth rent.
Yeah.
He looked at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're not charging, no booth rent. I don't want your money.
What's the catch?
It's none.
Okay.
Because God gonna work it out. Because every time somebody come buy a $120 hoodie, I got my booth rent. So I ain't in your trap, you ain't in mine.
Right. Okay.
But you know how happy you gonna be coming there with no booth rent? Now I'm not can't do this for 50 barbers, but for 3 chairs, keep your $250 a week.
Right.
Just sell 2 hoodies.
So it's like a boutique.
Come on,
store.
just because you're bringing foot traffic to my store. If you got 50 clients coming a week, that's 50 clients that get to see that $65 hat I just gave you.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get mine. Just now, when you don't have clients, you don't have foot traffic. Now we gotta talk. But if you got people coming, keep your $250. What's that gonna do?
Absolutely.
I'd rather you happy. Ain't nobody got to steal because there's no money transaction, and just tell them to keep buying the shit. Now, don't count my pockets when they buy 5 hats.
Yeah.
And that's more than 2. That's all I ask. It's because I ain't count, don't count my pockets. When you see, Trent come get a haircut in here, don't count my pockets.
Right.
But I'm not going to count yours, and I'm going to create a situation where you just bring me foot traffic. So what I'm saying to you is, I don't even need a retail spot if I can create the traffic. Why would I go to the mall if I can create my own traffic? Like literally, we did a listing session in my office, and we had 30 people come to my office. That's just my office. That's not even so if I can get 30 people to come to the office and listen to DJs at my office, I can get 200 people to come to the club.
Easy.
Come on.
Yeah.
So we are the ecosystem, and that's what I'm trying to get us to see.
Yeah.
Even like Hyra, I told him last night, like we can be a road show. Don't look at these venues like they're doing you a favor. You the one bringing the people.
Absolutely.
There you go. So I'm not opposed to retail. You got me if it's a good spot. And keep in mind, even some of my chicken wings called Chicken Now, we still have 3 locations in LA open in the mall. Like I have a Crunchies Korean hot dog. We still in the center. We in malls.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a good center that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, there's no point in me paying you this highest rent.
In the thing with residency, to me, when I see it all over my timeline, right? Yeah. I see it now with NFL players. Have you had the opportunity where it's branching out into other
so here we go.
demographics?
This is a great question. So I'm going to give you a yes. Short answer. Well, recently we did a collaboration with San Jose Sharks, the hockey team. We did stuff with Pittsburgh Penguins. We've done stuff with Formula One. So short answer, we just signed a deal with Atlas, which is a Mexican soccer team from Jalisco. So we've definitely branched out outside of football.
Okay.
But like I tell people from day one, I know football, so that I had to get it a pop, so that's where we started.
Got it.
The background that people really may or may not know is football makes more than all the other sports combined collectively.
Right.
From a merchandise standpoint, the TV rights. I mean, you already look at it. How many people gonna watch the Super Bowl this weekend? So football got the biggest bag. So I knew it. Now, the players don't make the most. That's basketball and Major League Baseball and like soccer, European soccer, and Formula One.
Right.
But as far as the influence that football has, they got the biggest merch bag, right? So that's why I started there, and it's what I organically knew. Now, the truthful answer to your question is in 2024, it was the 2023 season, but you end up having that playoffs in 2024. We have our top 5 markets. Nobody made the playoffs. So Pittsburgh, I think they got knocked out the first round. San Fran didn't make it. Like Tennessee, Miami, our top 5 markets didn't make it. So in that year, I was like, okay, decent year, but I can't. I'm gambling. If I'm waiting on these football teams to win, I'm gambling.
Yeah.
So I got to go back to the drawing board, and that was the beautiful part about the name Residency. And we were able to essentially, like, regardless win, lose, or draw, you're gonna love your city. And quite frankly, I don't even care if you're a sports person.
Right.
If you love your city, you're our customer. And so that's what you've seen me do recently, like the activations at Gatsby's, 8, Bel Air, the lifestyle stuff here in Vegas, literally picking a home base. Quite frankly, women watch women, men watch women.
Right.
We got a girl right now. We post her, she'll get more views than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Right, because it's just it's a fashion. It's how they put it together. So that's kind of the next wave of where I'm trying to go with it. But yeah, 100%, man. Like that's the next level of it. It's not only the city piece, but then the branded piece of just the brand. So true story. About 5 years ago, I went to Iverson Classic over in Philly.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Steven Jackson Stack.
Absolutely.
So anyway, he's from Port Arthur, which is close to Houston. I gave him a Houston hat. I gave him a residency hat. When he went and did his interviews and stuff with ESPN, he put the residency hat on first.
Yeah.
So what that showed me is some people are brand whores, some people love their city.
Gotcha.
Especially NBA.
Yeah.
NBA, you might see some people from LA, but most times they want to be branded, and so that's the other component of what we're doing. If we can just get you focused on the high level branded products, this city stuff is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
There'll always be like Boston, LA, SF, these almost like gang cities.
Right.
You know that, and when I say gang, I'm not talking violence. I'm talking just a
Right.
cult following.
Yeah.
Like I was wearing Dodger hats in Tampa and had never been to LA. So there's people like that.
Right.
But it's just one of those things. Like that's almost a brand in a brand, if it makes sense.
I want to add, like, for the people that are watching today,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's hundreds of millions, right, of aspiring fashionistas, let's just say it, right? How do they get their opportunity or their foot in the door if they don't have what you had to start off, right? And I say that because you had a bankroll behind you where you could take your lumps, you could take your licks. You had an opportunity where you could go months without sales, right? Everyone can't do that. Can you give any advice, like how should that person start, or what's a different route than going Zach's route?
So I appreciate I appreciate the fucked up compliment, but like when you see that bank account dwindling, like it's still painful.
No.
Just let me just walk you through.
Yeah.
So like, all right. So let's speak positively to start.
Please.
Okay. So you're asking a question. What can they do?
Right.
How much of stuff is free?
Nothing.
Being on time is free.
Right.
Working is free. Like if you can party all night, your ass can work all night. If you can sleep in all day, your ass can work. So what I need everybody to do before they say, oh, but damn, Zach, Zach fried chicken for 20 years and, he had a couple dollars. And before you start thinking that, let's just talk about everything that's free. Effort is free. Heart is free.
Okay.
Faith is trying, but it's free. So undeniable faith, being delusional is what you're going to need for the ingredient. Because even if you got the bankroll, if you make it all about bankroll, then you're going to be back transactional. Well, we spent $1,000 a day. We only made 100. I'm stopped spending my 1,000.
Right.
You're going to eventually stop that. Now, I'm not Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or whatever. So we still lost $2 million, right? And that's not peanuts.
Right.
So you still have to recoup that. And for so many people, they will check out because they don't feel that's recoupable. Right? Like they'll feel like, well, damn, I'm already 2 in the hole. If somebody ain't got my 2, then when am I gonna shut this thing down? Right? People are looking at when is the silver lining, when is the end of the road, when is those type of things gonna come. Now we talk about when you're dealing with people who have so much more money than you, regardless of whatever your bankroll is, they gonna want to see the effort.
Okay.
So like I always say, you obviously watch, I don't know if you watch Drink Champs, but you watch Memphis Bleak when Jay had to check him.
Right.
And Jay was like, I'm already rich. Like you ain't like, I'm already rich. I'm trying to make you rich. Yeah. So if I'm waking up before you, if I'm going home after you, right? If I'm doing 18 hours a day and you in the pool, so that's the type people. So let's say, for example, if Trent or whoever wears my hat, I'm never going to let him see that he's going to outwork me.
I got you.
So even though there is a financial conversation,
right,
it's a work ethic conversation.
Absolutely.
Like I'll give you a true story about Trent. Trent's brother asked for some shirts for his birthday, and his birthday was on a Saturday. And long story short, our manufacturer had to get him last minute. Long story short, we weren't sure that those hats were going to be delivered for his birthday. Let me ask you a stupid question. What you think I did?
Personally delivered them.
Correct. Took a red-eye flight to Houston, dropped them things off. Trent's driver picked me up. I took the house to his brother's house, and within another 2 hours, I was back on a plane to Vegas.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, was there a cost of a plane ticket?
Absolutely.
Viewers, I'm sorry. But a lot of people, you'd have bought their damn plane ticket first class, and they'd have been like, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And you know what everybody asked me when I got a house? Man, you come to the club tonight? Back to work.
Yeah.
Back to work. I don't want to party. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to holler at no girls with y'all. Like, this is what we own. You asked me for a delivery. Here's a delivery.
Absolutely.
So much of this stuff is effort. Now, if you need funding, I think what a lot of us don't know is the business credit, the funding. Those things are doable. And quite frankly, you don't even have to have any really money to start. That's more of a knowledge piece that I think is a lack in our community. Right. A lot of stuff, even when I first started in the restaurant business, it was all cash flow, people putting their cash together.
Yeah.
5 homies, you got 10, I got 20, let's piece this thing together. Now, there's a credit angle to it that I think a lot of us don't know and don't understand. And quite frankly, banks and people will easily fund you. Yeah. So I think there's an option there. But what I love about Residency, which the real number I want to tell you, is my favorite number. Me and Angelo started this with $300 a piece.
Wow. $600.
Correct. Now, you obviously LLC product, but we pieced it together.
Yeah.
We didn't just jump on and say, hey, here we go. Like, we $300 a piece. So, like, when I talk to kids and stuff like that, they'll do the same thing you kind of just did. They'll check themselves out of the restaurant. Well, Zach, I ain't got $400,000 for the Cuban restaurant. I ain't got no rich daddy. Go ahead and talk to somebody else. Well, you got a pair of $200 Yeezys on. You know what I'm saying? You got a pair of J's on right now. And if, okay, them 150, I'll spot you 150. So what we talking about?
Right.
Now, when I ask you to work 7 days a week for 6 years and don't have an off day, don't say shit.
Absolutely.
Because that's the price you were not willing to pay. You almost rather just cash ban me out because you don't want to grind with me. You rather just pay the money. That's what I've seen with people.
Yeah.
They rather just pay their way out of the process. It don't work like that. You can't buy your way out the grind.
Yeah.
The grind is the grind. So I think that's the real price that people don't want to pay. And so they'll throw things like, oh, well, you had this. No, I didn't. I had to pay American Express $100,000 the next day. You know what I'm saying? So even if I had a bigger bankroll than you, how did I find my ways out of these solutions?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I remember one time, when we first started the California Tax Department, we woke up one day and they took $18,000 out of our account. It was our last 18 stacks.
Terrible.
And we had to buy inventory. Like, okay, what do you do then?
Yeah.
Eventually, it's the end of Fort Knox. Eventually, your bankroll will run out. And if your faith runs out and if your ideation runs out, strategies, then you've given up.
And I know you said something, and I don't think everyone is going to be able to pick up what you said, but I want them to be able to understand that the Platinum American Express card and the Gold American Express card, they are charge cards, people.
Correct.
So he was not lying, capping, nothing.
No.
When you have $100,000 limit on that thing,
Correct.
it's due in 30 days.
Come on.
It's a real thing.
Well, what they did to me was even worse.
They push it, though.
Well, what they did to me was even worse. That's why I had to pay them the next day. So what they did to me, I still had that 30-day.
Yeah.
But what they did is I had multiple businesses, and they kind of saw, okay, you spend it on one payment, there you go. So what they did was, these motherfuckers smart. They cut my limits down on all of them to $2,500. But I still had to pay that bill.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say if I had $300,000 in credit at one time, at disposable credit, and paid on time, accounts in good standing.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we're gonna monitor you. You had the same limit for a long time, and you weren't really spending like that, and your income hasn't gone up. So we're gonna drop your limits, but you still got to pay that bill in 30 days. So even when I pay it, I can't reuse it.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And that is one of the tricks about American Express. I love them. I do love them.
They got the best benefits.
I hate them because I have unlimited spending power, but they did the same thing to me.
Correct.
I mean, it wasn't $300,000, but
No.
$100,000. Yeah. They did the exact same. They cut my limit down to like 11,000, and I had like 33,000 on there. I was like,
and that's what people don't get. So it's just solutions, man. It's just. I mean, I've gotten cease and desist from the NFL. Yeah, I've gotten all that shit, man. Everything you could think of, bro.
And you just hand that off to the lawyers?
So this is the thing. You gotta hand it off to the lawyers, but then it goes back to that undeniable faith and really understanding the language and what they're saying to you. So what the NFL hit me with was, technically they can't do nothing to me because Trent gonna be Trent, Shanahan gonna be Shanahan, Purdy gonna be Purdy. They said, we'll worry about our employees. Technically this is not allowed, but this is our employee. We'll handle that in-house. But what you're not gonna be allowed to do is repurpose that content. So let's say, for example, if Brock Purdy go fishing.
Yeah.
If Brock Purdy go fishing with my hat, Zach, you can use that all you want.
They own the IP.
Right, and that Brock Purdy going fishing was him going fishing.
Good to go.
He's in a fishing environment. He's playing golf. He's drinking a beer. He's having fun.
Right.
Now, Brock Purdy in that press conference in an NFL building with an NFL logo behind you, Zach, that's not what you're going to be able to use.
Right.
So what did I do? Here go to fan clubs. Fan clubs, you can't hit them with no cease and desist.
Wow.
Here goes the relationship with the player.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so, repost me. You can't stop Brock from person. You can't stop whoever from Vic, whoever. Then let you go straight to the source.
Yeah.
Like there's ways around it, but to your point, like this is a high, they're not sending people at the corner store hats. Right, saying it would cease and desist.
Absolutely.
So some of these people, it's almost a compliment that you're on their radar.
So you could basically pay like an ad page to go and repurpose that photo.
You
like,
could, but I don't even have to now because so many fan pages are down with it. And then also so many, to your John Gruden analogy, these people, or the Tom Brady, the restaurant, they're wearing it organically in their own setting that technically I don't need an NFL cameraman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're wearing it, picking up their daughter. So here we go. Like it's just what they're wearing.
Can I ask you, what did it feel like? Like you, after putting in all this work and all of this, let's be real, everything that you said that you've lost, right? It's more than just a dollar amount.
Correct.
When that day happened of that press conference and everyone came out How did you honestly feel?
Yeah,
Like,
so I actually lost a lot more after that press conference because keep in mind I had to feed the beast.
okay.
But yeah, like I have them moments every day, man.
Yeah.
Like I had them moments every day. So I have like a lot. I have a lot of like childhood trauma and stuff like that, man. So basically, I solved my trauma by getting that's my thing, by getting money. Like most people be a dope head or an alcoholic or something, but like they would give up on life. If you ever watch Jordan The Last Dance, like that's a lot of my personality. Like I'm gonna pick a fight with somebody who ain't even picked a fight just so it helps my therapy. Like I'm gonna score 55 points on you just because it's about me. It's not about you. I don't know. It's just call it a Miami thing. We're gonna circle the block club twice before we park.
Okay.
I just want you to see me. It's just that type of mentality. Like, but I use it in a positive way, in a genuine way, and I use it to inspire people. Like people think I'm crazy, but like that's how I'm blessed. You know, because I'll put it out there, and then people like, damn, what's going on? Like we do the activation. Hopefully you come tonight at Bel Air, and we did it. Like I was just giving all the girls in the club flowers, right? And then one girl was like, my man don't even do this. You know, like they just like you doing this and you're not even asking me for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So just that psychological effect of like I want to be memorable and I want you to have a good time, and that's what keeps me going. So yes, do I want my bread? Of course. Am I doing this for financial gain? I'm a businessman. But at the end of the day, like it's not just about the transaction; it's how the transaction was done. In that. This so it's a moment. But then there's a pre-moment. Yeah. So Swiss wore the hat, but you didn't ask how Swiss wore the hat. How Swiss wore the hat was Alicia went on Drink Champs.
Got it.
And dropped the location as to where she lived. And I used to live in San Diego. Okay. And I had a realtor verify the address. Absolutely. And I had a realtor verify the purchase.
Wow. All of the legwork on the back end.
Thank you, Swiss, for wearing the hat on a private plane next to Hove and OG Juan. Right. But for me, it's two moments. Yeah. Like to the Jordan analogy, when the game comes, you happy I scored 63. Yeah. I'm happy because I had a great week of practice on your ass.
Yeah, you were.
And it came to fruition. Yeah. And in the underdog mentality where if people never think you're good enough to do that, to Jordan Shrug, like told you, like here we go. I told you, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have to tell you. I don't even have to be petty in my vocal, right? Because you've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, you ain't like I said, ain't none of my family members bought a Cuban sandwich. Ain't none of my family members bought a hat. They asking for free hats, but ain't none of my. I love my cousin there, Hollywood. You ain't bought no hats.
Speak on it.
You know what I'm saying? Like love you to death. Want game tickets, want sideline pad, but love you to death, cuz. But like you haven't bought a hat. Yeah. But I don't need you because a strange, like they say, if you expecting a friend or family to help your business, you're not gonna have a business. Not at all. So like some of that is like, got you. Like one of my cousins, his sister, when Vic wore the hat, she's like, man, Vic. I said, yeah, AI coming next too. Yeah. AI next too. Denzel too. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna stop. Just I'm happy you saw Vic because that was somebody she grew up probably like I told y'all it was gonna happen. But if you don't believe, how can somebody else believe? But it has to be relentless faith, relentless. You know, and of course, I'm gonna get you. Like right now, I'm kind of over a lot of the trauma stuff, but I'm still gonna get your ass. But like, like I got my captions for Instagram. Like, I got everything already, almost like in a notebook as to how it's gonna play out. Ready. But to your point, there's a moment before the moment. I appreciate ESPN, but there's a back end moment. I think it's a hustler and an entrepreneur. If you don't appreciate, if you're just looking for the crowd to recognize you, you're not really gonna reach that full fulfillment. It's kind of like what the musicians say now. We kind of got our own Grammys. Yeah. We don't really care about the Grammys no more because for so many years they didn't recognize us as artists or what we thought we deserved. Absolutely. Right? So we just do our own Grammy. We do our own kind of Hall of Fame, and that's where I try to win.
I feel you. That was awesome.
Thank you, fam.
How did the transition happen from chicken, residency, to worms?
Yeah. I mean, so with obviously restaurant business, you kind of saw that, but I think just the overall theme is just being solid, being brandable, and showing people that, like one of my favorite quotes of Jay-Z is like, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business, right? Like you put me, I can sell dog fertilizer, whatever you like, whatever dog food, fertilizer, like whatever you want me to sell, I'm gonna sell it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a first,
right? But but because what I enjoy is the art of the sale. It's not really the product. Right. Now I won't just pimp out myself. It's got to be stuff that I enjoy. Right. It's got to be stuff like the product has to be good because my name is on this. But as far as how does door number one lead to door number two, I think it's just being solid and showing people like, hey, there's some skill sets here that it doesn't even matter what you give him. It's just unreliable, relentless, determination, faith, hustle, and relationships.
Yeah.
And when you go to these people, if you keep bringing them winners, everybody wants a winner. So a true story, there's a buddy of mine, he's here local, his name is Andrew Rivas. He started selling these in high school as a kid, like a broke kid, kind of hustling in high school, selling them for $1. And it was so crazy. The other night I was at Click and I had these in the club. And one dude was like, "Man, are these the Kool-Aid gummies that Rivas used to sell?" I'm like, "Yeah, what high school you went? You went to Coronado?" I was like, "Yeah, these are the ones." And so it was just the full circle, like how he was doing this in school 20 years ago. And now we've turned this into a real company. But anyway, Andrew Rivas, he saw what I did with the restaurants. He saw what I did with residency. So I got a saying where if you do it once, it's luck. You hit rock bottom and do it twice, you're a real hustler. Like anybody can do maybe $1 million baby one time, but lose it all, get it back, run it back. All right, now you really with the shit.
That's fine.
And so he saw me do that, and it was like, man, he's like, man, Zach, I seen because his favorite team, the 49ers. He's like, man, I seen what you did. Like, I got something I want you to try. I hit him the same thing. Bring it tomorrow. Let's see what we got. Yeah. No promises. I can't promise you a damn thing. But what I can promise you is I'll get it around some people and try. And so anytime the 49ers have a big game, I call it my little turkey table. I go in front of the 49er locker room. I'll probably have like 300 hats laid out for them to grab just so they can grab product. This is years after the relationship has been built. And so one year, about 2 years ago, they were playing the Eagles in the NFC Championship. Yes, and sir. I had the candy laid out.
And wax that ass, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm an Eagles fan, so
man.
we wax that ass. I got to get you really at it. You should Let's run that.
But yeah, so I had everything laid out, hats. And when I tell you, I know the hats are $1 million, baby, but the candy went first. Literally, McCaffrey hit me like, "Hey, man, what's your Venmo? I'm going to send you some money for the candy." Debo wanted a whole case. Of course. I'm like, bro, it's no money. We just enjoy. And so I called him. I said, we got to hit. Because I'm not even trying to sell it, and they taking it, and so that's how it is. But the thing about candy I like is it's a consumable product. You don't have to buy a $65 hat every day,
no,
right? But a consumable product, and I see it on the restaurant side. People are eating with their wallets, they're shopping with their wallets. Like I just need something for $10. That's all I got for value. And maybe this candy is not $10, and it's not as nourishing or fulfilling as a meal, but it's enough to hold me until I get a meal. So that's what we see on the candy side of things. So yeah, this is crazy. Worms. I've been around since 2020 when we actually started the company, but the last 2 years have been just crazy with the sales and the fundraising aspect. So what we've done recently, we've turned this into Girl Scout cookies. So I have a mom. Her name is Molly Logan. Her son played for Mojave. He's still at Mojave now, Curtis Coleman. And at this time, he was on the Vegas Knicks. And obviously, I don't know if you know much about the AAU circuit, but a lot of times the AAU circuit, they have to pay club dues. So like for your kid to play AAU, you got to pay $2,600 plus travel and shoes and food. You know what I'm saying, for growing boys. And she was like, Zach, what do you think about? She asked me, what's your wholesale price? When you sell to 7-Eleven or you sell to smoke shops, what's your wholesale price? And I said, what's $2 a bag? That's my wholesale price for that. And she was like, okay, well, how can we position this where you can essentially wholesale me and I can buy boxes from you like Girl Scout cookies and now sell to other parents.
Wow.
So, man, one time Molly was probably up to about 100 boxes a week, man.
No.
So you can just imagine. So you give me 100 for the box and now you do your thing. And this box value is probably $180, $200 value from a fundraising standpoint. Absolutely. So for a mom, you can imagine, like you just helped pay for my whole AAU, with travel and food and everything. So that's kind of where we've been.
It's kind of similar. Like I grew up playing Pop Warner. Like they gave you a box of candy. Right. You're standing outside of Walmart, whatever. You know what I mean?
All day long.
Okay, I got you.
And then what we also did on the back end to help the kids, I did the celebrities like Rap Snacks. So Trent has his own candy. Like we'll work on something with Justin Jefferson where he has his own candy. But long story short, now your favorite player has their own branded candy.
Got you.
So we hit you. You got the celebrity component. But then you also got the fundraising model. And we're still in convenience stores. We still do our regular wholesale. Yeah. But it's just a way, like I said, man, when you hit a kid in school, it's just so much more of a reach.
Yeah. I mean, DK is like a candy fanatic, so that's...
Yeah, I got some candy to him, man. Through one of his trainers, one of his coaches was the ones who was kind enough to kind of introduce it. He loved it, but I mean, we kind of fell on deaf ears. And this is the thing, man. Sometimes when the season gets busy, they get busy, and I get it.
Right.
And so... back to some people just want some free stuff and leave them alone. Right. Some stuff, it becomes a business transaction. But yeah, 100%. We got our candy targets, if you will, right? Yeah. But it's just at the end of the day, like sometimes it's like, bro, just send me my free candy. DJ Moore is another one. Just say, bro, just send me my box, right? But sometimes it does become transactional. My theory is sometimes when players are retired, they're a little bit more entrepreneurial. So
Okay.
like we've done deals with like Jeff Garcia as an example. We just
Yeah.
did something with Patrick Willis.
Okay.
These people that are retired, that game check is dried up.
Got it.
Right? You've been out the league 5 years, 10 years, you still papered up,
Yeah.
but you're not getting that game check every week. And so
Mhm.
you're a little bit more entrepreneurial and you've had time to develop. Let's be real. If you're 20 something, 20 to 30 playing ball, you haven't really been exposed to enough to be an entrepreneur, right? You know. So some of this is just, it just takes time to do.
And if they're 5 years out, now they got to start paying their own insurance. So
Everything.
Yeah,
So that's what we see on that side.
Absolutely. Can I ask you, what is like the dream? I know you have a hit list, like you're saying, right, of individuals you want to see it in. And it's not about you said there's 2 moments, right?
Correct.
Of when you see them actually in it,
Yeah.
and that's for the world. But that's not the moment for you.
No.
The moment was the work that you put in to get that individual to that moment. So what is the dream, or what is the end in sight for you?
Yeah. So the only thing I love about the end moment is the validation of the consistency. It's not the validation that I can do it anymore. It's the validation of, you know, so like when Kanye won that first Grammy, what he said, right? Everybody thought I was gonna go crazy.
Right.
And well,
You never know.
Exactly. So that's my whole thing. Like everybody's like, well, damn. Like I go through what I call black businessman trauma. Okay. So let's go through it.
Break it down, please.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Man, you and Trent kind of look alike. Y'all must be cousins.
Me and Trent?
No, I'm just talking about me.
Oh, I was
I
like,
talk
okay.
me versus me.
Oh, okay,
Me versus
okay.
My
Got
one
you.
devil
Yeah.
talking to the next devil.
Got it.
So like one devil is the fan, the other devil is the critic.
Got it.
So Zach talking to Zach to encourage Zach.
Okay.
So me and Trent kind of look alike.
Yeah.
That's how you got Trent to wear the hat.
Got you.
That's statement number one.
Right.
Man, you played football. I don't see no hockey players wearing it. William Carlson, Stanley Cup parade wearing my hat, right?
Yeah.
Like kissing the baby. So like, you know, so I play these comments out in my mind
Okay.
to motivate me,
Yeah.
to keep me on my grind. So the only thing I love about the end moment is that it's still happening. We didn't fall off because a lot of people get comfortable and complacent.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? You
Yeah.
know, if your favorite rapper was Wayne, well, you done.
Yeah.
We got Wayne in a Green Bay hat, we done. Like you're not gonna keep going, right? And so that's what I do love about the end moment. Now, if you're asking what's in it for me, financial goals, like I'm not gonna really put a cap on it
Sure.
because what I've learned is like when you start to speak limits, they happen.
Yeah.
But if you would ask me 5 years ago, it'd have been like, man, $100 million. But I don't want to say that because I know that it can be bigger than that.
Yep.
If it can be $1 billion, then why would I say that?
Yeah.
Now, as far as personally, this is a tool. I'm a tool for everybody to kind of like I view my success on how many people I bless. So I view it as at the end of the day, me coming here chopping it up is cool. But what I would love to see in 5, 10, 20 years from now is you interview other people and they say, well, damn, you know, I made more millionaires than the lotto did.
Absolutely.
That's what I would want to be. Like, that's my resume. If you interview 20 people, say, damn, I mean, Zach, I've been getting paper, man. Like, I was motherfucking homeless. This motherfucking, I'm, you know, switching these Bentleys out. Like, I'm doing, like, God, we doing this. They're talking about what I ain't said a damn thing to.
Yeah.
You didn't even know I blessed them, right? So that's kind of what I want to do, especially for people that look like us at a young age, because there's no playbook to entrepreneurship. No, I didn't have a rich daddy. This ain't no business school. This is not taught in traditional school.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really trying to do, and that's the back end, and that's what people say I'm crazy. Well, if I took care of Little Peanut when he was 9 years old, if Peanut ended up going in the first round, you know, who you think Little Peanut gonna remember when I was delivering all them free Cuban pizzas?
Absolutely.
He was like, man, I was hungry, and here goes Zach with the gummy worms and the pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not asking for Peanut for a return on them pizzas and them gummy worms, but naturally, the organic course of life is gonna happen.
Right.
It's going to naturally happen when you're a good person doing those things in the compounded way that we do them. It's impossible for you not to be the benefit. But anyway, that's what's in it for me. And just quite frankly, firing people from their traditional jobs. Like I got a friend, a buddy of mine, like he just signed with a Canadian football team, Bobo, right? He played for the Nighthawks. He won the arena thing here. And so I was telling him, I said, Bobo, it's nothing but a spreadsheet, bro. And he's like, what you mean? I say, run all your bills and triple them. And that's what you need to fire yourself from your job. Now, I hope you go to Canada. I hope you rush for 1,000 fucking yards. I'm going to be up there freezing my ass off cheering for you. But really, you know, it's Bobo versus Bobo.
Right.
You need to figure out your financial situation so you can quit whatever job, plantation, whatever you feel like you own. That's the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to put in the work, if you don't want to put in time, if you're really passionate about playing ball, like there's a passion piece, then that's not financial.
Right.
But if you like, God damn, I got to go to work tomorrow. Well, I guess you do until you run this number backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, triple it, because with this recession economy and just natural life, when life happens, you always want to have two, 3 times at least what you need, especially if you got other lives to feed, a baby, or whatever the case may be. So that's just my thing on it. Like, how do you take that control? And that's what I'm trying to inspire people to have and be. So if you're asking, that's what I want, that's what I want. The money will make sense, you know?
So it's your bills, write out your bills and then multiply it by 3, and then that's what it should be.
That's what you really need.
You should be able to leave.
Like, if you can't buy that Benz twice, you can't really afford it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm just being real. And this is from I'm like, people think I'm capped. Like, I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about things that I did wrong.
Got you.
Like, there's a girl named Kay. I talked to her kids, and she has runs at-risk youth, and she had me come talk to them one day. And so I told the kids one day, I said, bro, it was one time I was paying $3,600 a month just in car payments, payments, no gas, no insurance, just a payment. But I was just wanted to pull up on your ass, right? And so that was a pain problem, because my mama used to have a fucked up Chevy Lumina. I used to tell her to drop me off a block away from school so people wouldn't see how fucked up her car was. Mm-hmm. So when I got my money, I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna have something to pull up on your ass, right? And so that was my mindset then. But when I told the kids, I said, that's dead money. That's 100 and how much thousand a year in payments,
right,
because you got it invested in a whip, and it feels good to pull up on their ass the first couple of weeks. But after a while, that's 100 and some thousand that you could use to an investment.
Absolutely.
That could essentially an asset that could pay for that bill. And so just trying to change their mind into, like, I'm not saying catch the bus. I'm not saying drive a scooter. I'm not saying, have fucked up transportation. What I'm saying is, if you can't really afford it,
right,
then don't do it. And if you can't afford it, then you ask yourself a question, well, how much is it really costing me?
Yeah.
I can afford to buy this car twice, but how much does it cost me? Because now my money's tied up. And when you hit me and say, hey, Zach, it's a commercial real estate deal that just came through my email, and I think you might want to look at this.
Right. Well,
I'm looking outside of this motherfucking Benz, like, I can't do it, bro, because my capital for this investment is in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. If you can afford it, great, but just the dead money screws us, and that's something I tell people. But yeah, as far as the day-to-day cash flow, for me, it's 2-3 times minimum your bills.
I love
minimum, right? Because otherwise you just don't have the cash flow to function. Yeah. But to the earlier point, you got to find ways to free up that capital so you can have you might have 2-3 times your bills, but it's in a payment,
right? It's
in a credit card debt. It's in something that's preventing you from having it liquid where you can make a move.
Yeah. And Zach, I feel like you've put a different perspective, at least for me. So I hope that the audience was able to keep up with it, of looking at how do you actually put a value on things, just the way that you look at life and the way that you've been able to share your wins and your losses, right? Because you're right. At the very, very beginning, you spoke on it. It's not just a $16 hat. It came with loss of family members. It was loss of a marriage. Correct. It was loss of friends. Like those things are valued so much higher than that $16 giveaway free cut hat.
Correct.
And I want to know, now that you've been able to at least break it down and explain it, for me, it was very easily digestible. I hope that they were able to. Yeah. But what would you like to leave as your lasting message, brother, for anyone
I say
wanting to get in this world?
Yeah, so for me, it's simple, man. Start early. I tell people I was the same person at 17, bro. I didn't start my entrepreneur journey until I was 23. But yeah, start early. And the reason I say start early is because it's like your gut feeling. Mm-hmm. Like, normally your gut is not going to lie. So if your gut is bothering you, go with your move, start early. And the second reason I say start early, because your bills ain't the same. So let's say if you start at 17, you ain't got no mortgage. Yeah. So all my homeboys had babies at 17, but like, hopefully you ain't got 2-3 kids like my homeboy Theatric. Hopefully you right. Yeah. You would hope that you don't have a mortgage, you don't have car insurance, you don't have a big family. You can afford to jug and make a move, right? But so this is what happens to older entrepreneurs. Life takes over. They've made some financial decisions that they can't get out of. Right. They made some lifestyle decisions and promises that they can't get out of. Either they don't want to swallow their pride and go back in that Ford Fusion, or their wife thought, hey man, you said you want to be an entrepreneur. I said I was going shopping. I ain't had shit to do with, I have a dream and a chicken and all that. Like, that's all you, bro. Like, I'm an employee. What I signed up for was not to be a hustler's partner. And so a lot of times they can't take the kids out of private school. They can't tell their wife, hey, the house ain't selling this month. I don't know what to tell you, baby. Hopefully your nail salon booming because, my chicken spot's dry right now. So they don't know how to have those type of real conversations later. So that's why if you start earlier, the hope is that you can make those individual decisions so you can be in the best. And life happens, bro. You might get sick. You might get divorced. You might go bankrupt. You're going to lose, but at least you're starting earlier where you got a better shot. So let's say you start at 17. If it don't work in 2 years, you're just 19. Yeah. You're not 59.
Yeah.
With what I'm going to do, retirement's on the way, on my health, right? So that's what I tell people to start earlier, and then don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to nobody. A lot of dream killers. Like, love my mom to death, but my mama's an employee. My mama's not an entrepreneur. My mom want her hair done when she wants some shrimp. She all this. Now, Derek Carr wear that hat, mama's baby. I told y'all my baby was going to do it.
Right. But
until then, I was a stupid motherfucker until he did it. And wear my shrimp. So you get what I'm saying? Like, this is the mindset. So it's a lot of dream killers. You're going to have to be completely delusional and just go with your move and just understand, like, this is what I signed up for, and it's not for everybody, man. It's not for everybody. I actually encourage people not to be entrepreneurs.
Why do you say that?
You want an off day. You want to go to Cancun next week.
Yeah.
Right? You want PTO. You want Martin Luther King Day off.
Right.
Christmas, one of my busiest days.
Yeah.
Like, everybody want to be a boss.
All right.
But they don't want to pay them invoices, right? So I actually encourage people, like, don't do it, bro, because this is what it's going to affect you in cost. So that would be my advice. Start earlier, really understand the dream killers and the people involved in it. Don't take advice from anybody, especially if they've never done it. Like one of my mentors used to say, how somebody making $30,000 a year going to tell you how to make $30,000 a month? Yeah. They're just not equipped with the skill set to educate you. So all they're going to do is put their fears on you. So, yeah, that's all my advice, man. Just start early. And once you start, just dive in. So many people are afraid, like, well, I don't know how to swim. When you dive in that pool, you're going to drown or learn how to swim. Either one is going to happen.
That's right.
It's one or the other, and chances are you're going to panic enough and learn how to swim. You're going to paddle your ways to the wall. You're going to do something to get up out of there. And so that's the thing. We laugh and we joke, but that's the reality of it, man. Like, just dive in that motherfucker and figure it out. It's not about perfection. It's about execution. Like, it's never going to be perfect.
No, not at all. Putting the analogy of it and, like, bringing it to a visualization of jumping in the pool and just doggy paddling to the side for safety is literally, I think, the best visualization for 100%. Entrepreneurship.
And the thing about it, the reason why I try to do analogies and stuff, people always say I'm good at that, is because I try to make it digestible and chewable for you.
Right.
So, like, that's an analogy where, like, if you ever in a situation, you can be like, okay, I just got to dive in and swim. Like the momentum. Like, first thing you do in a fast car, you want to hit them brakes, ride that shit out. Ride that shit. Like, it's just, when you're in that moment, if you have an analogy, it's like, okay, I can go back to this analogy. And you may be going through a different moment that's not the same thing I went through, but that analogy can help you get through that, whatever you're going through. Just making it, really simple, keep it simple, stupid, and just making it with, like, hey, I really understand what he was saying, even though he went through something completely different than what I went through. I get it, man.
No, absolutely. That was powerful. I appreciate it.
100%, G.
Please let the people know how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, so for sure, man. Honestly, man, I'm big. Just all my brands. So in town, I'll give you the different restaurants. Fat Sal's, we got licensing rights for them on Fremont Street. Earth Cafe, we don't have the one of the win, but we got Green Valley and Uncommons. Crunchy's Korean Hot Dog. Cubanada 1885 has 3 locations: Henderson, Sahara, Fort Apache. Pokemart LV. At Uncommons as well, Total BN at Uncommons, and then for Residency, obviously what we talked about mainly today, Residency with a 3, we're at IG. We also are in some retail arenas. We have Sharks, Miami Dolphins, places like that. And then last but not least, Worm, same thing on IG, direct to customers, man. And quite frankly, anybody who needs any entrepreneurial help, advice, I don't mind giving game, bro, because like I tell you, I would tell you exactly what I did, because like we talked about offline, most times people are not going to take the steps. But if anybody really wants to take a step or needs help, like, I'm more than willing to give any advice. If you're here locally, pull up on me. Like, I'm a real person. We can walk through whatever you want to go through. But like, I'm passionate about helping others, because a lot of times the stuff that I'm giving wasn't taught to me. So any way I can help, be glad to.
Man, this is honestly probably one of the realest sit downs I've ever had. So I appreciate you.
You called the right one. I told you, when they asked me. Man. Open book, man. I appreciate y'all having me. I love what y'all are doing for the culture, because to my point, this is not taught or talked about.
Yeah.
This is not, we have a very prideful culture. A lot of times we don't want to tell people where we made a mistake.
Absolutely.
We don't want to tell people the nitty gritty. We want to have a facade as a culture or whatever as, hey, I'm perfect, or this, to your point, the social media analogy.
Yeah.
So really giving people the real blueprint on life and how to help them. So I love what y'all are doing for the community. And like I said, man, totally respect you as a person. So anything I can do to help, I'm here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll just piggyback off that. The craziest part about doing this was showing the world like me being a beginner of something. You know what I mean? That was the hardest thing. No one ever wants to look like they're struggling or learning.
Correct.
And I had to learn this. I had to learn how to speak properly and speak to different people and read energy and body language and looking in the mirror and just practicing with myself. So it's a real 100%. Thing to overcome. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, so I'm going to give, I have some things, right? Yeah. Two jewels, if you don't mind, before we go.
Sure,
the first thing is the $5 rule. So like you ask about like the investment. So like for every one of my homeboys told me, like it was my uncle who worked in a Jewish hospital when he was he went to Meharry for doctors. He was a cardiologist, lived in Houston, and he did his residency as God would have it at a Jewish hospital. And he said one of the things he learned from a lot of those Jewish doctors was what they would call the $5 rule, where essentially for every $5 you would save two, you would invest two, and you would live off one. Okay. And so you never will go broke along those lines. So just people like you, to back to the analogy of you can digest $5, right? Yeah. You can literally touch that, see that. You know, you don't have you not, even if you're not a millionaire, you've seen $5. And so if you play that rule out, that was the first one. And the second thing I've always thought of, to your point, is so much of like as Black men, there's so many like major, like there's like three main things that kind of have held us back. And there's a lot of stuff, but these are the main ones. Number one is obviously the lack of the male presence in the home. The number two, knowing how to articulate properly. Yeah. And I'm not talking about sounding whitewashed or watering your voice. What I'm talking about is just really knowing how to articulate oral and written communication, and how to really communicate, right? Not only how to make it look good when you type it up or write it up, but literally how do you break things down where you can really have an understanding with somebody? Because at the end of the day, like that's how we're really gonna change. You know, whooping my ass ain't gonna do nothing. After you whip my ass, I'm back. If you haven't communicated why I got my ass, but I'm back to doing the same thing. So right. I think that's always huge. And the last but not least is taking the emotion out of money. So you hand me $10 million, you hand me $10, it's the same thing. I'm gonna do this. I got the same steps. Now I'm not a fool. I know this is a $10 million check, but I got the same game plan because we back to the $5 rule. Yeah. I'm gonna save two, live off two, invest one. Fire. Even if it's $100 million, I'm just do the same fundamental game plan. And so that's as our culture, we put emotion in money. Right. You know, and it's not. It's the most emotionless thing. And when you start to put emotion in it, when you do emotional spending and those type of things, as a man, then everything just falls downhill.
Yeah, you said at the beginning, it's not real.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. So, I appreciate you having me, bro.
No, absolutely. This one is fun. You guys heard it here first. Multiple times as he was sharing his journey is don't allow other people who've never done something or done what you're trying to accomplish get in the way of your dreams. So if you have something in the back of your mind that you want to do and accomplish, double down on it. If there's a thought, if there's a dream and you woke up that next morning and you're like, I'm going to change the world, it's never been done, go ahead and double down on it. Go ahead and make the investment in the time inside of yourself. I promise you, it'll be the best investment you've ever made. And that was today's episode.